Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Velgans, welcome to the Unification Draft, hosted right here from the Velguy server. Tonight, it's Fox versus Ghostie, two players helping shape this draft format inside the community. Taking a look at their records, Fox comes in at a 1 win in 5 losses across total drafts played, while Ghostie sits at just a young score of 1-1. But here's the key stat. Head-to-head, these players are dead even, so tonight, this is their tiebreaker. As far as faction bias goes, Fox is known for his far side enclave pick, a tough 1v1 faction choice, usually an uphill grind. On the other hand, his opponent Ghostie fields the Blood Angels for his faction of choice, a fast and aggressive pick, perfect for what Ghostie likes to do in a match. The big question heading into the draft tonight is, do either of them get their comfort pick, or do the bans force something new? With the players introduced, let's turn our attention to the battlefield. Antigua Bay has been selected as the opening map. If the series extends beyond the first game, the player who drops the opener will select the next map from what remains. Now, Antigua Bay supports multiple win conditions, take and hold, control area victory, where holding the majority of key locations can end the game outright, and annihilate the complete destruction of all production-capable structures. The map revolves around 3 critical locations, 2 natural points favoring each player's side, and 1 central objective that immediately becomes a focal point for conflict. There are 3 primary avenues of attack here on Antigua, the center path offering the fastest engagement, while the left and right flanks carry more risk, negative cover that can punish poor positioning. Within the Velguy server, Antigua Bay has become a proving ground, familiar, unforgiving, and execution heavy, a map where fundamentals will decide the outcome. And now the draft phase begins. 30 seconds on the clock, beginning with bans. This is about reading your opponent, trying to ban out a strength or protect yourself for the pick phase, maybe cancel out a meta faction like Death Guard. We'll see what these players are going to take out here. Have they profiled each other properly? 6 seconds to go. Let's see what they choose.
3, 2, 1.
And there it is. Ghostie removing the Far Sight Enclave. That is a painful ban for Fox to endure. That means we won't be seeing that faction throughout this series as the bans do carry over. But Fox also responding with a heavy-hitting ban of World Eaters. Ghostie does often field that faction when he is looking for victory, but not in this series. Now, with the bans on the table, only picks remain. 9 seconds to go. What will they choose?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Fox locks in the Imperial Guard with plenty of staying power, and Ghostie answers with Blood Angels. No surprise there, his comfort pick. That marks the draft complete. Firepower and attrition against speed and pressure. Let's get into the game. Ladies, gentlemen, and fellow Velgans, welcome to round 1 of Unification Draft Protocol. Here on Antigua Bay, it is Fox spawning in the bottom of the map as the Red Imperial Guard. Going up against his opponent for the tiebreaker, it is Ghostie with his blue Blood Angels in the top of the map. Now, who is going to heed the advantage here in the early game? Both players know Antigua Bay. It is played on profusely as a training map in the Velguy server. Everyone's practicing on it just to get a little bit better at the mod. But let's get a look at the opener here. Fox starting with triple conscripts and a guardsman squad. He's got his plasma generator down and an infantry command to follow, with a listening post already being built up on that first strategic point. But most notably, he is moving out into the middle of the map for an early capture of a critical location. But here we can see Ghostie, on the other hand, also has some early game plans. He has elected to skip his points in the base. He's doing some forward capping, and he's building this heavy bolter in the middle. Does Fox know? He has no idea. These conscripts came out here for an early take and hold, but they're going to get sent home crying most likely once those bullets start to rain. And there it is. The bolters are shredding the first model of that conscript squad, sending them home. But Fox's plan is still enacted as this conscript squad is just getting up here, focusing their fire on the assault scout squad. But they go into berserk and melee, getting a little bit of a buff, but I think there are too many conscripts here for that to really make a difference. They're going to retreat and reinforce simultaneously. But what's this? They are actually coming straight back in. They're not done. They're looking for more blood. And there's bolter fire here from the right. It's a tactical marine squad. They're going to shatter the morale of these conscripts, as it's an immediate retreat for Fox. He is in a bad spot early on. I do not think this light cover is going to save him, as the last conscript squad drowns in the river. He is not going to be reporting to his commander here. And that command squad has a lot of work to do in this early game, as fielding that is offensive justification. He has got to make the most of it, and maybe he'll get his wish as Ghostie pushes in with a tactical squad looking for more damage. But he doesn't want any of that, as the priest is added to the ranks. Ghostie making a smart decision, retracting that squad. But as one squad retracts, another one engages here in the middle of the map. Ghostie is looking for blood where he can find it. The conscripts are falling under the bolter fire, but courage is the name of the day as they charge forward against the tactical squad, routing them. But I don't think it was a retreat. I think it was a tactical withdrawal, as Ghostie comes back in looking for more poke damage on both the middle and the left. He is microing on two fronts here, forcing Fox to react. We've got an extended engagement here on the left. Fox sending out the commander in pursuit of those tactical marines. But that leaves his middle vulnerable, as these marines here are going to be able to make bleeding happen against Fox. He doesn't have the firepower to really shove these guys back here. And this is pretty dangerous early on, as Ghostie's able to project power against this not completed listening post. But he's not going to sustain the angle just yet. It looks like he's just going to micro in and out, keeping Fox on his toes. And Fox really needs to concentrate his forces here in the middle if he wants to complete this listening post. But a little bit of an error. Ghostie could have shut this down if he had the focus on that tech priest. That would have been huge. But Fox was able to get that completed. And that's good for him, because he needs it. But, oh no, Fox is not in a position to actually defend this listening post, and it's not fortified, so that could be a cost loss if he doesn't get up here. He does have his commander moving in just in time, and grenades are actually equipped to the guardsmen. That's going to help with these incursions. That will signal to Ghostie that he needs to be more careful assaulting against Fox. But ultimately, that's not going to be an easy investment for Fox to justify. He is heavily invested in the early game. He's got a tactical control. He's got a full command squad. He's got grenades. That's a lot to pay for when your opponent's controlling the early game and they're getting their economy online. You can see Ghostie is ahead with a tech advantage. He is going tier 2, already 75% of the way there. He's got his listening post almost all developed, adding on plasma gens, and he almost has the take and hold timer in his favor. Ghostie is in a commanding position. Fox is in one just to defend. The Imperial Guard do love a defensive position, and they can enact a good one, but when you're behind, it's a little bit hard to justify some of your assets. I mean, this command squad needs to project its power somewhere, but the reality is he can't take a straight fight. That turret in the mid is going to shut down what Imperial Guard really love, which is centralized control. But we do see Fox putting this heavy bolter down. I think it is going to get denied. But you know what? If he can cancel it, it's going to be a little bit of a diversion for him, as perhaps this was premeditated. Maybe Fox trying to play to shut down that take and hold timer. You could see Ghostie was prepared to shut down that turret. Didn't have any opportunity to defend against this incursion on the left, allowing Fox to shut down the take and hold timer. So that's one less concern that Fox really has to worry about, at least for now. We can see Fox is prepared to try to defend this location. The conscripts know they need to withdraw. The other guardsmen are in position with their grenades. That's going to shut down the approach of the tactical squad. Ghostie smart not to go in there. That would have been a bad fight for him. I think he's going to go ahead and say, I'm already ahead. I'm going to wait until I get my vehicles online, because you can see he has a machine bastion. And excuse me, he already has his Razorback out. And oh no, I don't think Fox actually is expecting a vehicle already. This is going to go bad real fast once he notices what happens. The Razorback is already ripping into the conscripts. And oh my goodness, they're going to have to sacrifice their life just so everybody else can retreat. We can see an emergency infantry command dropping down for Fox, hoping to serve as additional fortification to repel what would happen over here on this left-hand side. But I don't know if that's going to work, and maybe Fox is thinking the same thing. A little bit unsure where he wants to consolidate his defenses, but he's going to have to decide something, as Ghostie is ramping up for invasion here. He does have his tactical squads looking to synchronize their attack. I think they didn't want to completely commit there because the middle wasn't engaged, but here it goes. We've got the left and the middle falling under fire. What is Fox going to do? How is he going to respond to this? The left listening post and the one in the middle are falling just as fast. Fox kind of just waiting. He doesn't really know. I think he's going to put down this infantry command here and hopefully defend with this cover and infantry command. But it is going to cost him a lot as his economy falls, as both of those listening posts are now down. The middle is decapped, but this is going to be rough here. It looks like a little bit of a divided engagement. The command squad moving into the tactical marines, but instantly they get routed as the priests take heavy damage. He might even lose a priest there. The Razorback with a multi-laser is firing into the infantry command. Good response by Fox, loading in his infantry so that they stop losing models, and the bleeding is halted there. Everything is going to be firing into the Razorback, but it does look like Ghostie is going to position to take out this infantry command, and there are no repairs in sight. The tech priests, they are too late. The infantry, the guardsmen did not get routed into the field command. That could have spared some guardsmen lives, but at least they have a little bit of distance now to fire the grenades off. That tech priest needs to get out of there. He is too brave, shooting directly into the Razorback, and immediately he is shot to death. This is not a good position for Fox. It could be an early GG as Ghostie looks to find his mark. What does he want to focus? But oh, look at this, special weapons coming out. That's going to make that Razorback rout, and Ghostie knows those things do a heck of a lot of damage to armor. But you can see the tactical squad is immediately firing into them. A little bit of lapse in micro for Fox, and not just on the left-hand side, but on the right as well, as the veterans were chopping into the guardsmen forces. Fox just loading them into the field command here. Another special weapons squad fielded, taking out a Razorback. Micro lapse on both sides. I don't know who's really taking this here, as Fox seems to be mustering a good defense, getting out just enough special weapon squads and loading his troops into the field command. But my goodness, look at this battlefield. It is littered with bodies from both sides. And ultimately, I think Fox is paying the higher price here, being at a tech disadvantage, losing his economy. You could see he's got a lot banked, but ultimately, that's just due to how oppressive Ghostie has been with his offense. It's not allowed Fox to allocate his resources properly. He's going to have to reestablish his economy. And meanwhile, Ghostie, on the other hand, is just building up more and more power. He does have a Devastator squad on the field, getting heavy bolters. Oh no, excuse me, that was canceled for missile launchers. That's going to make the siege more tenable for Ghostie. More plasma generators coming online as well. This is the beginning of the end. Once Ghostie gets his power consolidated for the next offensive, Fox is going to be in a bad spot. The only way Fox has a way out is if Ghostie is going to make some errors on his approach. Maybe he can catch Ghostie when he tries to do a two-front attack, because he does have 2 special weapon squads. It would be nice to see some Psychers and a Lieutenant Commander fielded for Fox. That would give him more control and dominance over the vehicles, a little bit more focus fire capability. Fox needs absolutely everything he can muster right now, because this is the defining hour. And here we go. There's already an incursion on the left. Ghostie sending that Razorback in a little bit prematurely, and it's going to get focused down by those special weapon squads, and that is exactly what Fox needs. It's a game of inches for him. He needs to get little victories here and there in order to come back into this game, but that Razorback is not going to justify just yet. Maybe he can pounce on these tactical Marines and Devastators. Ghostie's a little bit of desynchronized with his offense once again. This would be a good fight for Fox to take. I think he should chase this out and follow through, but that is not what's going to happen. He is going to split and try to defend, but these veterans are going to engage in melee against the special weapons, and the special weapon squads have no hope in hell to deal with those. They will get cut up. But both players kind of dancing with each other in a game of micro here. I like Fox's a little bit better, although Fox needs to make Ghostie pay. I think we're going to get a concentrated engagement at some point. We will see. Although, you know, Ghostie can just run out the timer actually here. He can just keep Fox on his toes. He doesn't have to fully commit. And look at that. He's got a Dreadnought on the way. So Fox is going to be in trouble really soon. Where is the Psyker? Where is the Lieutenant? We need that anti-vehicle capability to be maximized. But oh no, this is not good. I think Fox is going to get caught out here as he chases the veteran squad. The Dreadnought pushes forward into the middle. Oh, goodness gracious here. This is a terrible engagement for Fox. He does not have the ability to sustain this incursion. The Guardsmen are trying to get back into it. At least he's getting good damage onto the Furiosa Dreadnought here, but, I mean, there's just no Lieutenant or Psyker to back this up. The Guardsmen are going to trade with the infantry of the Blood Angels, but the veterans are getting in. They're going to start cleaving them as they berserk into melee. And this is not good for Fox. He does not have the ability to shut this Dreadnought down, which means his special weapons are shoved back. He is making use of his production by getting more special weapons and heavy weapons teams out. I don't know if they're going to come out quickly enough, though. I think that this may be the end for Fox as he slowly loses the rest of his fighting force. But who knows? Cadia stood last time. Can they get this Dreadnought down? The morale shatters for the Guardsmen. The Guardsmen are slaughtered, but a heavy weapons team is deploying. We need to see all of this requisition spent as fast as possible. Getting conscripts out to maximize the field command capability to fight back, but he doesn't have the conscripts. He doesn't have the other heavy weapons team. He basically has nothing left. Fox is really in trouble here. Game 1 is looking like it's going to Ghostie as Fox desperately trying to build production. He knows that this is probably the end. With 2 minutes left on the take and hold timer and no fighting capability for Fox. There's the emergency conscripts in production, but it's too little too late. Fox not being able to stand the wrath of the Blood Angels as game 1 is sold to the aggression and intense micro capability on 2 fronts for Ghostie. Well played by both players, and it is a absolute bloody battlefield here in the end of Fox's base, as he has just no hope in hell of recovering. That's going to be the GG. A Predator Destructor coming in. Fox probably recounting to himself what he could have done better. That's definitely going to be the end. Well played by both players. Actually surprised to see Fox hold out as long as he did. He was able to muster one good defense, forcing Ghostie to consolidate his forces for another offensive, but that second one was the end. Fox just didn't quite have the capability he needed, but hopefully he can secure it in the next round, where he will be selecting the map, and they're going to go to game 2 in this series.